Hey guys, what's up? Cardfight here, and today I'm here with a meta update video. Let's zoom in here first. Alright, so a lot of you guys have been asking me to do an update of the meta, and here it is. I expect the meta to change after the release of the new booster set coming out next month, I believe. So I might do another update then, but as of now, it's January, almost February, and I'll talk about the meta that we are currently seeing. And there has been a rough draft of the Banlist, I think, that is popped out online. It's not 100% confirmed, but I'll talk about that a bit later also. And I'll just give you guys a bit of my thoughts on the current game and you know, what the meta is like right now. So ignore these three now, they're not too relevant. But we'll talk about the two decks that are wrecking up the meta right now. Well, mostly it's Kagero. It's the cross build. It's pretty much topping everything. Yeah, there are very few decks that can even compete with this deck. It's just that good. For obvious reasons, this deck is good because, well, you can either restand or retire units, and you know, there's not much you can do about this deck. If you're playing against a player that knows how to play with this deck. Yeah, it has too much control, you know, retiring units and restanding and the searchability and stuff. It's just a pretty hard deck to play against overall. But another deck that has an honorable mention is Royal Paladins. Since they can kind of get back after Kagero blows up your field. Royal Paladin is one of those few decks that actually has that ability to replenish their field. So I can see why Royal Paladins can, you know, combat against this deck to a certain extent, of course. There's some stuff that Royal Paladins can't do. For example, for cheap 1 counterblast, the cross can retire 2 of your units, while most of the time with 1 counterblast you can only call back out 1 unit for Royal Paladins. So as you can see, you probably can't keep up the unkeep of units for the most part. But nonetheless, Sling Saver is still quite relevant in the current meta, being one of the few decks that can compete against the cross. There's some honorable mentions I want to mention. There have been some Oracle Think Tanks, some Gear Chronicles, and some Nova Grapplers. They don't usually win the tournaments, but they are seen in the tournaments. There's also some outliers that, for example, like Musketeers, I think, but I'm not sure what tournament that is. I just saw it on the listing for decks that won an award or won a tournament. But those are outliers because very rarely will you see them. Most of the times you're just going to see Kagero being first, and then maybe like Royal Paladins being second or third, if not Kagero being second also. So yeah, the situation is pretty much the same for Hong Kong. Yeah, it's, I don't know. The cross is just, you know, the cross is the cross. I mean, Kagero is gonna Kagero. Yeah. So I'll talk about a bit about what these decks have been doing. I can't talk too much about Nova Grappler because I haven't played with the new stuff, but I just know the Stride can restand, so that's probably one of the reasons why it can combat against some of the newer decks. Gear Chronicle, it works similar to Kagero, like the retiring and stuff, except they're missing a restanding Vanguard. The limitations to making your opponent guard is sort of good, but it's not powerful enough to combat against the cross, because This deck can't really replenish its field that well, so that's one of the reasons why it's not doing well, I guess. Oracle Think Tank is... it's hard to explain. But Oracle Think Tank, you can abuse Silent Toms with the new AK boosters, so you can run like 7 AK boosters or 8 AK boosters if you want to fight against 11k Vanguards, which does fairly well. And they also have good ways to gain hand advantage. So Oracle Think Tank is not bad. You'll see Oracle Think Tank all the times, along with these other decks, especially in team tournaments. The third member will usually use Oracle Think Tank or Gear Chronicle. So yeah, because Oracle Think Tank still has that edge of gaining hand advantage and stuff, so they won't get hurt too much by Kagero stuff. Though of course they still can't replenish their field that well. Also, the random cards that you draw with this deck, obviously it's random, so if you don't get a card that you need, that can screw you over. But that's pretty much my thoughts on the game. These 3 decks, I think with more support they can, get back up there along with these big boys. But as of now, they need a bit more of a push, I guess. So yeah. So let's talk about the ban list or the restriction list that popped up recently. Take this with a grain of salt, because I don't think it's confirmed yet, because they were talking about considering restricting the cross and things over. Yeah, but let's talk about the cards that did get hit. First up is Commander Laurel. This card will get hit after the release of the extra booster that Dimensional Police are getting. So keep that in mind. So it won't be restricted right away. It'll be restricted after the release of the set. So I think this is in like March. March 2nd, I believe this is. Another card that you have to look at is Calamity Tower Wyvern. This card will be restricted to 2, and it'll be restricted in February 14th on Valentine's Day. Yeah. So yeah, the reason being is a lot of people are soul blasting these, like the Yen and the Cross, and then riding the Great, and then soul blasting them out, so you can Legion them back in and hopefully ride into them and Persona Blast again and just screw your opponent over. Because a lot of time late game, they're probably not going to guard, and for a cheap 1 counter blast, you can retire 2 units. And especially late game, they're probably all of their opponent's units are probably in the drop zone already if they're fighting against you using Kagero. And it's really hard for them to set up nice columns if you just keep on screwing them over like this. So yeah, I can see the cross getting hit also, but the cross and Thingsaver are under consideration to get hit to 2, I think. So these aren't hit yet, but Commander Laurel and Calamity Tyrant are hit. Commander Laurel is restricted to 1 on March 2nd, and Calamity Tower Wyvern is restricted to 2 on February 14th. So there is that. So that's pretty much all I want to talk about today. Just some things that I think is going on right now. I know a lot of people will probably talk about, well, why didn't you talk about this deck? Why are you talking about that deck? For those decks, as I said before, they're probably outliers, and I don't see them doing that well. Like, if I didn't mention that, I don't see them topping or anything in Hong Kong, or maybe they topped and I didn't notice, so it could be my problem. But that from what I see, that's what I think. So that's pretty much it for this video, I guess. I'll be doing a unboxing for the new trial decks very soon. I believe I get them on... I'm not sure. I'll open them when I get them. So that's pretty much it for this video, I guess. Stay tuned for more Cardfight Vanguard videos, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!